The significance of relationships in human survival cannot be overstated. However, the path to a successful relationship is often fraught with challenges. In addition to romantic qualities, a healthy partnership requires vulnerability, trust, and honesty. We have had the privilege of speaking with some remarkable women and experts over the past month who have shared valuable insights and practical tips on building and maintaining healthy relationships. Now, it's time to explore a diverse perspective and hear what men have to say. I am Shantae Kenny, your host of Next Level Conversations. Joining me tonight is NexLevel's own technical director, Joey West Patton III. He is the brave and courageous soul sitting here who's decided to join me in the hot seat.
Oh,
Wes, thank you for joining me tonight.
that's great. That's great, the hot seat.
Yes, the hot seat.
Oh, my goodness.
The hot seat. I want to encourage you, if you have any questions that you would like us to ask while we are talking with Wes on tonight about all the things that we've been talking about all month long, please feel free to drop your comments and questions into the chat. We are monitoring them so that we can ask the man's perspective, see what the man's got to say. All right, Wes. So we have been talking about relationships, love, and marriage all month long. Okay. And you have had an opportunity to hear all the different takes from different women, different ages, different backgrounds, thought processes and stuff. So I'm not going to ask you to comment on anything that anybody has said, but a lot of questions came up, a lot of topics that we discussed, and the women had their point of view, and I'm interested to see what a male's perspective, what the male's viewpoint is on some of the topics that we discussed. Okay. Are you good?
I am great.
You good?
I'm great. I got my Next Level t-shirt on. I'm good.
We are going to have fun.
Yeah.
We're going to have fun. One of the first questions that I wanted to ask you, and it was a question that came up on last week. What do you think, and this is, I understand this is totally subjective, do you think that social media has had a great effect on marriages and relationships, not just marriages, relationships, period? And if so, how so?
I do. First, I wanted to thank y'all for having me back, but I wanted to say that my opinion is Wes.
I got you.
For men. So don't go to every man saying, Wes said this, so that's what men think. You gotta ask them. I think social media has replaced Hollywood, like old school Hollywood. Remember you used to go to the movies or watch TV and that's what you wanted to do?
Yes.
Like you watch A Different World, so you wanna go to college. You watch Fresh Prince, so you wish, you had that,
And I wanted Dwayne Wayne and Whitley's relationship when they finally got together.
Yeah,
okay.
Like, you see certain celebrities and styles. Like I'm from the 90s, you know what I'm saying? So it's like before you can see everybody, you only had certain people you could see, so they influenced everybody. Now you see everybody, so it's really like high school, like you just keeping up for a lot of times.
That's a really great point.
Where it's like, oh, I see you doing this, I see you doing that. Every relationship is different. Like, so social media is great for commonalities. We have this in common. I think it's cool that we talk about that or like it or repost it or laugh about it, whatever. And then we get so used to what we have in common, the moment we don't have something in common, either we react like it's a problem and argue back and forth, or we just say little subliminal things. But as a whole,
I'm with you.
People. So it's like, yeah, I do 1,000% believe social media has affected all relationships, like period. Because, I mean, a lot of times we spend more time on social media than we do at our jobs. And social media becomes our job in some way or another, And it's like, man, if you're always looking at it or looking at stuff, Valentine's Day just passed.
Got my red on.
You looking good. And like, you know how people get, like, if you go on social media during Valentine's Day, half of your friends are acting like they're not bitter about being with somebody. Half of your friends are showing everybody else their thing, you know, and it's like we get in a race with each other somewhat. Sometimes it's good, it's inspirational. Sometimes, like, your relationship, you can't go to everybody about it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go to everybody about it. But when you're on social media, you do.
Okay. Okay. I like that. I really do. Those very good points. Let me ask you this. What is, just from a male's point of view, what is the difference between a friend and an acquaintance?
Oh, man. For me, I mean, friendship is about the time you spend. Not quantity, but quality.
Okay.
Like, I consider you my friend. We see each other maybe once or twice a week. But it's always good. You're always sending me spiritually on point stuff. You're always sending funny stuff. We laugh, we joke, we do our thing, we work. You know, you're more than an acquaintance. You're my friend. So you could spend a bunch of time with somebody who doesn't have that same, where does your quality of time match?
Okay.
Because, like, we work with people. And sometimes, you know, there's some people from your job you wouldn't allow at your house.
True.
But if you see them every day, they might think they're your friend. So the
Okay.
quality doesn't match in your head. If our quality of time doesn't match, then you're either an acquaintance or a friend. You know what I'm saying?
Do males, I know, because females, we value our relationships real hard with friends, with our homegirls, and we're constantly going to them and we open up to them and different things like that. Do males handle their relationships with their homeboys in the same way? Do you think that men are more, I need my homeboy, or are they more, I'm good chilling by myself? I don't need that. You know.
I think it's both. I think men get in moods. I mean, that's nothing new. And sometimes you're in the homeboy mood. You know, sometimes you're in the by myself mood. Like, a lot of times as men, you're working. You should be working. If you're a man, you should be working. And in doing our work, a lot of times we get tired or get whatever. You get strained. So as working, like, we're built for work. Men should be built for work. We can go to the Bible and all that, but we'll just keep it short and say men are built for work.
Okay.
So sometimes in being built for work, you just want to be by yourself.
Okay.
Sometimes you just want to let your mind rest. When you want to let your mind rest, then you call your homeboys. Like, we just chilling. We not doing nothing. We might be watching a game that we don't control, have a drink, sit down, eat, whatever. We might get deep, we might not, but it's a mental break. So we're chilling because we all have to go back to work tomorrow or next week or whatever.
Okay.
So I think the mental health awareness movement over the last few years has helped men talk about stuff with each other.
Okay.
I also think social media has helped because when you see enough posts, you realize you're not alone. So I think that has helped.
Okay.
But it depends on the friends. It depends on the men.
How important do you yourself think relationships are in cultivating relationships?
Any or romantic?
Any. Let's just any relationship. We're gonna hit the whole romantic side here. I'm just setting the groundwork right now.
Gotcha. It's important for any adult, especially a man, but any adult, to set a standard for themselves.
Okay.
So in cultivating a relationship, it's important for you to define what everything means. Like, now you don't have to, you didn't meet me and go, hey, Wes, you're cool, I'm not interested in you, don't try it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That, it wasn't never an issue, but it was like, you don't have to go out of your way to lay out stuff that's obvious. You know what I'm saying? But you should define, like, if I would have ever crossed the line in anything, friendship, joking, because we like to joke. If I would ever cross the line, it should be, hey, you know, that's a line. and you say it however you say it, if it's respectful. And then that cultivates that relationship. That grows it into whatever your definition of it is, so your definitions match.
Okay.
So if that
So you
person,
think every relationship you will agree you got to be able if
You
if
have
you
to.
are in any type of relationship
Anyone.
with anybody, you have to be able
You
to
have to.
communicate
You
and,
have
and
to.
define those terms.
Even with strangers, because we live in so this past summer, one of my homeboys was killed at a gas station because he couldn't let an argument go. So even a stranger, you have to cultivate that relationship. Because if you talk to this man the right way, he's not gonna kill you when you come outside. But you don't know if he's gonna kill you or if he's gonna just drive off. So that's extreme.
Yeah.
And it's a personal experience. So it's off, a little bit off the side.
But I understand
But,
exactly what you're
like,
saying.
Yeah. You have to, with everybody, you have to like set your definitions and stand on them. And if somebody steps over that line, then you decide, do I cut this plant and get rid of it? Or do I just check them, prune it a little bit and let them grow some more?
I like that. Speaking of, and that was one of the questions that we had with with Farah, our relationship expert. In your own opinion, what does a healthy relationship look like to you? And let's start with not a romantic yet, because I want to move over into the romantic type relationships in a brief moment. But just a healthy relationship with someone in your life. What does that? Let's think about somebody in your life that you have a relationship with, and describe. Okay, I would consider this relationship healthy based upon these parameters.
Knowledgeable communication. Like, we'll communicate with people we love and people we deal with just on moving through life. Men are real bad about this. We'll think about, this is my boy, this is my man, like, this is my dude. And we'll never say it, but we feel that way.
Okay. See, and that's the thing men do. Now, women, we ain't got no problem doing it.
Exactly. So, because I hang out with my homeboy or my friend, and we just kick it all the time, I assume he knows I love him like a brother.
Oh. But y'all
But
don't
I
say
haven't
it.
knowledgeably communicated that. You get what I'm saying?
Do you think men want to be told that? Do you think they want to hear "I love you, I love you, I love you"? Not just from the females in their life, but from the other people in their life. Do you think?
Yeah, I do, and I think, boy, I think we as a culture have been tricked into thinking that's weird. Because, a lot of men nowadays grow up without fathers in our community and otherwise, because it's not just us. A lot of men grow up abused in ways that women get abused, but it's okay for women to talk about it,
Yeah.
and men get vilified or punked out because of it.
Yeah.
A lot of men get taken advantage of. Not every man is as attractive as Brad Pitt or Idris Elba or whoever you may like. You know what I'm saying? Like, so not every man has as much swag or success with his crush or his pursuit. So a lot of times men may treat that like they don't mean anything because you don't hear, bro, you're doing good. I met a kid today, this is off the wall. I met a kid today who just moved to Dallas at 21. I moved to Dallas at 20. He moved from LA. I moved from LA. This kid is literally like me 13 years ago. And I could tell when I was encouraging him at work, he was like, bro, that's all. He told me, he was like, bro, that's all I wanted was somebody to talk to me.
Wow.
And tell me just tell me what to do. But nobody would talk to me except you. I was like, bro, you are literally me a decade ago, bro. Like, but that's how it is. Like, we'll hang with people, but we won't say it, and men need it. We need it, and we don't realize we need it till we hear it.
Do y'all need it from other men, or do y'all need it from women as well?
I think other men is more important. No offense.
Okay.
Because you have to see it a lot of times to, like, know it's okay to emulate it.
Okay.
That's why fathers are important.
Yeah.
You see your dad spoiling your mom, you're probably not going to run off on chicks. You might have little teenage, you stupid because you young moments, but you're not going to live a life like that, typically. You know, there's cases. So I think men need to hear it and see it from men first. And they should hear it and see it from women also. But a lot of times a man can confuse himself for having some game because all you do is say, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
get it.
it's like the kid that still gets the cookies after he didn't do his homework. It's like, yeah, that can spoil you a little bit.
So you touched on something just a second ago, and I want to talk about that briefly. You were talking about how the young man at work, you started talking, and y'all got to realizing that y'all have a lot of things in common, and a lot of people have a hard time putting themselves out there, approaching people, talking to people, so they end up being recluse, and you have your introverts and your extroverts, and we were talking about this and how people they begin to think that nobody cares, nobody loves them, as we were talking about, but they don't know how to create and engage in relationships. They don't know how to meet new people, and they don't know, especially, and I think, and I want to ask you about this in a minute, but what is something that you do or that you would say to another male to help them, or a person period, to help them learn how to cultivate or create relationships? People who are very shy or introverts and different things like that, who really long for connection, because we all need connection. But how would you go about helping them create relationships
I
or
would
build
say
them?
find the smallest point of success and shoot for that. So the example I have is this kid walked in. So I've been working this job with this private chef cooking for football teams, professional football teams.
Okay.
So we're in the kitchen all
Anybody
day.
we know?
You might, I don't know. We need to get her on next level. It's a lady who's in charge of the kitchen.
Okay.
So we're in the kitchen from 3 a.m. to 7 p.m. most days, cooking for these football teams, 3 meals a day. And this kid was just like sweeping, like he's sweeping his life away. Like he is working. I'm like, bro, like there's nothing to sweep. So I just went over there and was like, yo, chill. You're working hard, but you're doing too much. Let me show you what to do.
Okay.
Because it looks like you're looking for something to do, which is what you do on your first day at work. But I got you. Let me show you what they didn't tell me my first day. Let me show you that. So what I'm saying is his smallest point of success was, I'm just gonna work. If nobody talks to me, I'm gonna work.
Okay.
And then somebody approached him to tell him, hey, this is how you work a little better. So he chose the smallest point, and God, through relationship, expanded that.
I like that.
I think if you choose your smallest success and shoot for that, I mean, you shoot for the big stuff too. Yeah, I want to be everybody's favorite coworker. You can shoot for that. That's great. But, the small stuff will get your confidence rolling.
Okay. So basically what you're saying is do something small and simple.
Yeah. Give yourself a small and simple goal.
Okay.
Like, if I don't meet nobody at work today, I'm going to work super hard. That's what he did.
Okay.
And because of that, he
He
gained
ended up-
favor with me, because I just was like, bro, this dude is
And
working.
that caused, and do you have a hard time going up and talking to people?
It depends. I think situationally, it's harder when I'm trying to like shoot my shot at a girl than it is when I have a goal. Like, because if I got something to do, I got something to do. So I need to talk to who I need to talk to.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, it's different. It's different for me.
Well, okay. So here's a question: do you think that people are numb to initiating connection?
Yes. Social media. You think you're my friend because Facebook told you I'm your friend.
Uh-huh.
I ain't your friend. You just get to see my pictures.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, like, I got like 6,000 friends, and I know like 800 of them. I'm not saying they're not cool people, but we literally don't have enough time to be friends. But, like, now you will meet some people on social media that are just great friends. So there's cases, again. But for the most part, like, you become numb to the connection because you're always scrolling through it. So you feel like you're connected. But you're not going through it with me. When I get an eviction notice, I don't put it on my door.
True.
Or on my
the
on my
feed.
Facebook wall. You know what I'm saying? It's on my door. That's what I was trying to say. Like, if I get a ticket, you might put a ticket on there because tickets can be funny, depending. But when I'm going through it, like, when I'm having moments, you may or may not put it on there, but you're not putting dirt, or super, super tough stuff on social media most of the time.
But you will agree that connections are built and relationships
Yeah.
are built when you can share private things about you and your
Definitely.
life with others.
Knowledgeable communication.
Knowledgeable communication. I really like that.
I'm knowing that I'm communicating with you about this. I'm not just posting it so you'll like it, so I'll feel better for 30 minutes. Because my problem's still there. You know what I'm saying?
True.
But there are sometimes you need to get on there and see a funny video and laugh.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to get on there and see somebody post whatever and realize you're not alone. But don't confuse that with somebody sitting right here like, hey, bro, what's going on?
Okay. So let's jump over to ghosting because we talked about that briefly, and I just got a full understanding of what ghosting is. But have you ever had a situation where you have had a friend? I'm not. We're gonna hit romantic relationships here in a minute, but have you ever had a situation where you have had a friend or somebody that has ghosted you, and how did that make you feel?
A friend? If that ever happened to me when it was a friend, it was probably when I was in the streets. And usually I can think of one time, I don't think it was even a ghosting. It was ghosting. I wasn't too happy about it, but it was like more of some street stuff that was like, we can't be eye to eye right now anyway because it's too crazy. I lived a crazy life, trust me. A Netflix life, I lived it.
We gonna get the backstory on that real soon.
But like, I can't say I've been ghosted by someone I considered a friend. It's, you remember, like, my value and your value have to match.
Okay.
Now, I could have ghosted someone that considers me a friend.
I was just about to ask you, have you ghosted somebody?
I'm almost certain of it, because I'm slow to text back. You know this from being my friend. I'm slow to text back. So, like, if it's somebody whose value isn't like Shantae and, Judge and all these people that I really value, like, for y'all, I'll make sure I at least text back by the end of the day or the next morning.
Okay.
For somebody that I don't value like that, I may not text back because I might not have remembered you because I'm working from forever to forever and I got other engagements.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. I have a friend who recently, who I had a conversation with them about this whole texting thing. We're going to use that as an example. And this particular friend gets offended when people do not respond back to a text message because they said a text message is real quick and easy. I mean, it takes literally 0.1 second, which I agree with. And the point that they were making is, you may not think that I'm somebody special, but I think that I'm somebody special. And for you just to look at it and just not respond back, I actually take offense to that. And it's something that I had never even given thought to, but they value themselves so much that they don't want people treating them like that.
And that's a knowledgeable communication.
That is.
That cultivated your relationship. Because now if you step over that line, I stepped over that line. So, like, I got to get with sis and tell her, hey, I saw it, but I was busy, or I saw it and I fell asleep, or whatever. Hey, I just want you to know you're still important. And then respond to the message. I've had people do me like that. And I tell them, listen, I do a lot. and I work from 3 a.m. to 7 p.m. Like,
I'm gonna work it, man.
like, listen, like, I'm middle America time. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. So it's like, I'll tell them, I'll respond by the end of the night or the next morning because I'll forget. I get home, I take a shower, I eat, I sit down. You know what I'm saying? I might listen to music, I'm asleep.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it'll be the next morning at 2:15 when I'm going to work where I'm like, oh, I gotta.
But do you feel a certain type of way when people don't respond to your communication?
I feel a certain type of way when people don't respond to specific communication that they know is important. And what I mean by that is like, let's say we have a gig
Okay.
and I don't show up. And you text me, Wes, where you at? Where you at? You're not worried about it because you're going to do your thing, but we had an agreement. Wes, where you at? Where you at? And I'm just, there's nothing important going on. I'm just not there. If I were you, that would offend me. Or if it were the other way around, I'd be offended. It'd be like, bro, we had a plan. When we go against the plan and there's
Okay.
no emergency, that offends me. You not responding? Listen, I understand because I'm that person.
So how do you handle when you have relationships with people who, or how do men, when you have relationships with people who you reaching out as homeboys, I'm checking on my homeboy, and you know, they just don't ever respond back. Like, do you, I know us as women, sometimes we'll keep going, and sometimes, as we were discussing on the show earlier in the month, we get offended and stop and cut those relationships off. How do you handle situations like that?
I've got to do better at that. I've got to do better. It depends. To answer your question, it depends on the relationship and how well you have cultivated that. Like, cause we were just talking about suicide recently and mental health and all that. And it's like, you never know what somebody's going through. Like, if he fell off, did he fall off because, this is the perfect example. I got divorced, and because I had built a habit with my closest friends of being a lone wolf, a lot of people didn't even know I was divorced. I see people after months, years, whatever. I done been through the wilderness, cried my eyes out and came back, finally putting stuff together, and the first thing my homeboys will say is, how's your wife? And it's like,
Well, but is that on them or is that
it's on me.
you?
That's what I'm saying. So it's on me to have that a better level value of communication.
Okay.
Because then they would know.
Okay.
And then they would know, hey, I hadn't heard from him in a while. Let me check.
That is a very good
Like,
point.
I got a homeboy. He works like crazy. He's got a wife. He's got a kid. Randy's husband.
Okay.
He works like crazy. So I know, hey, I'll hit him. He works almost the whole week. So if he doesn't hit me back, I'm not mad. But if I hadn't heard from him in a while, I'm going to hit him back like, yo, like, I ain't heard from you. And at that point, he'll text me like, yeah, bro, it's been crazy.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
But sometimes, most of the times, men just let it go.
Okay.
He's not going to hit me back. All right, bro, I'll catch you in the wind.
Well, I think women kind of take it personal.
Yeah.
So we're about to we're gonna shift gears a little bit.
Romance.
And I want to remind you all to make sure that you drop any comments or questions or anything that you want to ask Wes in the chat as we get ready to shift our conversation to romantic relationships. So first of all, you have been married before. And you were married for a few years, and you've been divorced for how long?
I've been divorced since 2020. We were together for 6 total, married for 1 total.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk relationships.
Let's talk.
Okay. And we asked this earlier, what do you consider is the most significant thing in building a healthy and lasting, especially now that you've gone through your journey of marriage, divorce, healing? What do you think, in your opinion, is necessary and essential in building a healthy relationship? What is one ingredient that you think is absolutely essential?
I got two.
You got two, then give me two.
They're twins. Friendship and patience. If you're not friends, when stuff gets hard, you can't go back to being friends. You just beefing. Because we wasn't friends to begin. Like, if you don't have nothing, not nothing in common, but you know, opposites attract. So a lot of times you only got a few things in common, and you like really hit on those things during the honeymoon period, and then you get the feel for each other, and then like you expand the whole cultivation of what we're doing. Like, but when you're not friends, I don't think, man, okay, hot seat. All right. I don't.
And I do know, recognizing that this is all subjective, and these are just Wes's. This is your point of view as a male. You
No,
do
I
not
just-
speak for everybody, and you're not an expert.
When I speak, I don't like people not being present when I speak. So even though I hadn't spoken to my wife since we've been divorced, I'm gonna say something that I wish she was at least present for, so it doesn't sound like I'm snaking her. I don't think we were
What does
friends.
snaking mean?
Snaking, like being fake, being a snake. My
okay.
bad. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Slang. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think we were friends. I think we saw purpose in each other. I think we saw things that lined up and looked good on paper. I think we said all the right things during the honeymoon period, and I think we ignored all the red flags until we were too tired to.
It's very interesting.
I don't think we were there was never a point where it was like, we're going through it, let's just go watch a movie or go for a walk or go play some basketball or go watch some basketball. So when it got tough, we ran to our friends. When you go through it, you either stay by yourself or run to your friends. Our friends are in different groups. So typically, and I've learned because I've been, you know, in and out of a couple, like, almost relationships since that. And whenever there was a problem specifically with this one person, it didn't work out for it. Just because I'm too focused and I don't respond, to be honest.
He got communication issues.
Communication problems.
He has not arrived yet.
Problems. But when stuff got hard, we could go back to being friends. And I don't mean break up and just be casual. I mean like
Friends in the relationship and the things that build y'all.
when your friend sees you suffering, your friend's not gonna think about how your suffering affects them first.
Okay.
If you're in a relationship and you going through it, and your partner says, well, that just affects me like this, and it's not something super serious, like you didn't lose the house and lose some crazy, you know what I'm saying? Now, they need to communicate their feelings. If they feel some type of way, you need to listen. That's your partner. You know what I'm saying? That's your partner. You need to listen. But usually when your friend sees you hurt, what do?
I mean, they come on, they console you.
They console you. Or they
they're
at least,
concerned.
they'll be like, what's up?
Yeah.
Even if you not feeling this dude right now, you not feeling this girl right now, she get on your nerves, right now her breath stank, his breath stank, whatever, like, they on your nerves. You know, you get on somebody's nerves, everything negative that ever happened comes to your brain. So, but you'll still be like, you could see him and be like, yo, what's up with you, knucklehead?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
I'm not feeling you right now, bro, but let me make sure you're not just being a baby.
Okay.
Because men have different kind of pressures. Women have crazy pressures, and I didn't know that until I started working here. Like, I didn't know. But men have different kind of pressures because they always feel like they're expected to work. We feel like we show our value by the work we do, whether it's cooking, whatever kind of work a man specializes in, that's what he values. Because in anybody's job, they could be Michael Jordan. They may not be Michael Jordan, but you could be Michael Jordan in the kitchen. You could be Michael Jordan on NexLevel stage. Like, you Michael Jordan here. You are the team captain. You are the face of the franchise. You know what I'm saying? Like, so everybody's that can be that person in their industry. So men, we find our value by how the work we put in.
Okay.
So if a man loves you, he's gonna put in work. He may not talk to you a lot, but is he taking out the trash Do you have to ask him to take out the trash? Is he taking it out because he just loves you? Or does he text you good morning? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that. Like,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
is he interested in what you're interested in? Like, because you're interested in it. Because I'm not going to remember none of your show after you tell me. But I want to see how excited you are to tell me your show. Like, those are like bonding things. You know what I'm saying? And if you have those kind of friendships, when stuff gets hard, it's easier to, what did Jesus found Peter fishing after he died and resurrected. Because Peter went to his comfort.
Yeah.
His comfort was fishing.
Yeah.
And that's what he knew. I know I'm good at fishing. So if we know we're good at friends, we're always going to go back to being friends. Even if we decide to break up.
I like that. I like that. I actually like that. That's a very good. That's a very good point. What is one thing that you think, as a male, especially one that's been married, and you have a lot of friends, and you've seen them married, and you have some that's still married. What is one thing that you think men? Let me frame this question correctly. That women neglect to do for men, or neglect to give men, that men need more of in their relationship. That probably was not the best
No, I know what
question,
you're saying.
but do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm trying to figure out how to say what I'm going to say that doesn't sound mansplaining. I think without being a doormat and without being a kiss butt, that men need to be thanked for their work.
Ooh.
Because
You're probably right. We probably do not say thank you enough as women.
Thank you for what you do. And he's gonna, 9 times out of 10, a man is gonna play hard, like, yeah, whatever. Oh, you didn't have to thank me for that. I love you. Inside, he's melting. He's melting. He's like, yo, she really remembered that my work is paying off. What I put my hands to is paying off.
Wow,
That's
good.
What do you think, I'm gonna ask you a question
Go ahead.
now. Like I said, men's value system is weighed in work.
Okay.
What do you think a woman's value system is weighed in? Like, is it attention? Is it quality time?
I think women are different, and so
That's why I'm asking.
ours change significantly. No, I'm talking about women, period, are different.
Yeah.
Men, I think y'all can come together and
It's a bigger box.
Women, let's talk about me, myself.
Let's do that.
Mine's is, you think about love language, mine's is acts of service.
Okay.
What types of things are you doing? Simple things. I don't need big things. But what types of things are you doing just to show me that you are present, that you consider me, that you hear me? Little things. And I value really small, simple acts.
See, that's you are like, that's like perfect, because men value what they do. So if you stand on, like for you, if you stand on your standard, you find that man, he's gonna do that because he's a man, that's how he operates, because that's what you like, that's what you're gonna see. So you'll probably thank him for it, and it just builds. Of course, you've been through marriage and we know your story, you've been through divorce, so not everything's a fairy tale. But like, I think with men and women it's like currency. Like, it has to translate. Like, you can't pay for stuff over here with pesos and euros.
Yeah.
Like, I think men is still like on pesos and euros, and women is like on dollars and yen and all kind of like big balling stuff. So it's like, sometimes it don't feel like it add up. It's like, this joker, he don't talk to me, he don't like my shows, he don't take me out. Now, you should do all those things. You should do all those things. But if he doesn't want to do all those things all the time, it's not because he don't fool with you. It's just because he's a man.
Well, no, the days are over using that as an excuse because he's a man.
No, like, I won't say he's doing it because he's a man. I will say that, like, dudes just need unplugged time.
Well,
And
okay, I agree
sometimes,
with you. I
like,
agree with you on
like
that.
if you were to try to watch a show with me, I'd be interested for like, if it's a really good show for like 2 weeks, and if we don't watch 2 seasons in 2 weeks, I'm not gonna care because I don't watch TV like that.
Let me ask you this. What, in your opinion, makes a good communicator? Is there a quote unquote best way to communicate?
Yeah, be honest.
Oh, he hit that hard and clear, and that was frank and really true.
But that starts with men though. Like,
Yeah.
man, hot seat. Okay. That starts with men. Like, we set the standard. Like, we set the standard. And then in return, you can either return, the energy and accept whatever standard we're setting as you, like, push the standard. Like, yo, it's like relationships are negotiations.
Well,
You come to the table, I come to the table. We like each other, all right, you in the dope. You cool after we like each other, you even farther. You might got some stuff I don't like about you, so let me tell you,
okay.
you gotta,
True.
this is what you gotta do.
True.
And if you accept, we could go to the next step. Like, it's just being honest
And,
without being disrespectful. That's different for every man. Because I grew up with a dad, and my dad would tell you what he needs to tell you. He's not gonna typically call you out of your name. He typically didn't cuss, but he's gonna tell you what he's gonna tell you. So I'm cool with you telling me what you gotta say, because you can't say nothing that's gonna hurt me worse than what any whooping I've ever got.
but you will
know what I'm saying?
agree, and I agree with you. But I think that really comes with, you have to be intentional about who your partner is, because everybody cannot handle.
And that's what I'm saying.
Truth. Everybody
Yeah.
cannot handle your openness and your honesty.
Which is why you got to figure out
Right,
what the
what your
respect thing is for
and
that
your-
person.
and your value system.
Because you can't talk to all men like you could talk to me.
True. And you can't talk
80%
to
of-
all women like you can talk to me.
What's the fatherlessness now? It's like 60-something% in the home now in our communities. In any community.
Actually, I was watching something that was 73%. That's what I
So
think I
that means
heard.
73% of men haven't been raised like me. So you're not going to be able to just fly off the handle because you don't know what kind of upbringing they've had. You don't know, like I said, when you ask, do they need to hear certain things from other men? That's what sets the table for y'all.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Okay, so you you was talking about you just hit it, and so this is gonna roll right on into us, because you're talking about how a relationship is like I think you said negotiation.
Negotiation.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. Okay, we're having an adult conversation. Is sex important in a relationship?
Are you married?
Am I married?
Not, whoever is married, are you married? So this is something, not one of my favorite, like a pastor of mine, Pastor Draper, Quentin Draper in Oak Cliff, Texas. He's like an uncle to me. He used to give me such great advice. We spent so much time together. And one thing he told me before I was dating, before I was married or anything, he was like, the point of growth in a relationship stops after sex. Because you get distracted. If it's good, that's all you can think about. You're going to let him get away with stuff because it's good. You're going to let him say stuff because it's good. He's going to let you talk to him any kind of way because it's good. Because you'll take it out on each other during
Ladies,
that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna need my girls to kind of
it
chime
gets
in on that one a
ignored.
little bit.
You get the Yvette and Jody thing going. I hate you, I hate you, I love you, I love you. Like,
Wow.
That's more common than not because it's packaged as that's how it's supposed to be. Like when you were coming up, when I was coming up, it's like, that's what some people is doing, but that's not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Now it's like, yeah, that's
Everybody
whatever.
is doing it.
So now when you get in a relationship, you've already like committed to like sex. Really, your naked body is the only thing that God made himself in your life and gave to you.
Okay.
He literally made this body himself and said, here.
Ah, okay.
So that's the greatest gift you could give somebody,
Yeah.
your naked body. So if you're gonna give them the greatest gift before you even decide if they're worth being married to, you've shot yourself in the foot of growth.
So at the end of the day, and we're talking now about single people.
Now,
Now, sex,
That-
and so
It's-
let me ask you this question. Hold on, because the question was how important is sex in a relationship? And so what I think I heard you say is it's very important, but the moment you step over that line and start, then you've put a halt to the relationship.
not even a halt. It's the most important.
You think sex is the most important?
Not in a relationship, but like it's the most important moment. Aside from like knowledgeable communication about
Okay.
what I will and won't go for, because once you get there, you've got everything. You may not have got like, as a man, may not have got her wallet, her cards, her car, her house. Like, you know, she may not be parading you around the city like the king or whatever.
Okay.
But like between y'all, you got like when you get married.
The most important
What
thing.
do? You go on a honeymoon and do that for a week. Before you say hi to anybody as Mrs. Whoever, you've gone off and done that for days and came back. It wasn't the goal, but it's like if you win the Super Bowl and you get the parade, you don't get the parade during week 8. Now, this is a football reference because I'm a man. All right, so it's like if you win a championship and you get fireworks, there's a fireworks celebration because you won this really important game. The wedding was just the game.
Okay.
Now you got to have a career.
Okay.
There's a difference between one game and a career. Now, as adults, you could do whatever you want. I'm one of those people that say you can do however you want. You don't have to live by my rules, but you'll acknowledge them. Like, you'll know they exist because it's like, bro, it won't completely halt the relationship. It'll significantly slow it down until you get to the point where sex is just another thing.
Okay.
Not that it's just another thing, but
It's not at the forefront. It's not the thing
It's
that is
not
controlling.
exactly.
And you are, as you say, you're taking the time to be friends.
because
build the
then you'll
relationship.
realize, oh, I've been sleeping with a dummy, or I've been sleeping with a remarkable person, and maybe we need to value this, or hey, I shouldn't have gave that brain this body. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, okay, so you know, you hear a lot of women say that he only wants me for my body. Is that true?
if that's all you presented, like if that's all you were willing to, if that was your standard, that you let him just, that's all it, like whatever it took is all it took, then you won't challenge him. Men are like hunting dogs. Give them a target. What's the target? Was the target sex? Was he that fine and the cologne smelled that good and his smile just did it for you and that was the target at that point? Okay, well, that's what you sold. Not sold, but that was your product. That's what
Okay.
you put out there on your table of relationship for this person.
Okay.
So if that's on the table,
Y'all coming after.
say, man, men don't like to not eat. If it's on the table, man, like, so then it's like, oh, that was on the
Okay.
table, but on your table, that meant all the other stuff that comes with it. That meant treat me like a wife, pay attention to me. You may not put a ring on it, you may not tell everybody on Facebook, whatever, because I don't think you should post everything. But like, and men do this a lot more than women think. And it gets switched around a lot. It's like, okay, you had, your value was up here. You put this on the table, you experienced it, we both wanted to do it, but because of it, like, you feel like this dude feels like, oh, I got that down here. Like, I don't have to work as hard. You think he's gonna get it, he's gonna work harder. But what happens when not a toy, that is so rude. What happens when a new something you bought that you like, car, anything of value, house, I buy horses, whatever. What happens when you've played with it and played
And
with
it's
it and
lost
played
its
with it and played?
excitement.
It hasn't, you don't value it less.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of favorite things. Like, I got a hat that my grandpa who passed away recently, I got it.
Your
It's a
Ranger
Rangers hat,
Yeah.
and the Rangers won like 2 days before he died. It's one of my favorite hats. I don't wear it all the time.
But you
I don't
value
wear it
it.
much. It's my favorite hat. I don't wear it much. It hasn't lost any value. You ask me what my favorite hat, I'm gonna say my grandpa's Rangers hat. But what happens after you worn it? Worn it. Okay, I see my hat. It's hanging. I got a mannequin head, the little wig thing. It's on that. It's like a head. You know what I'm saying? It's like a store. It's there, but it's like, okay, that's my favorite. You know how I like hats.
Yeah.
That's my favorite hat. But hey,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like, after what, as a hunting, men with the hunting dog mentality, knowing that, what target are you presenting him?
That's a very
Because if
good-
that's the only target, he hit it, now what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, no pun intended, no weird stuff. But like, he hit the target, now what? What's the next target? Your next target is what? Him to make you a wife?
Well, you know, that's normally where that's
Exactly.
when women think about relationships, that's what we
Exactly.
think.
So, sex aside, how do you help him hit that target? How do you help him?
That's a good question, ladies.
Because when it's good, that's all we think about. Even if it loses its, honeymoon period, that's what we home for the most part.
Okay. All right. So, okay, we have a few more minutes, and I want to, and I've been trying to get everybody's questions. Let me ask you this. We talked about myths with the relationship expert. We talked about things that men wish that women knew. What are, and I know you probably breaking some of the man codes, but I need you to talk to my girls, help them debunk some things so that they, especially my single women, so that they can get into these relationships, have successful relationships. What are a few things that women you literally have 2 minutes to do this, that men wish women knew and understood? Give me one or two.
Life is hard too. You know what I'm saying? We know your life is hard because it's a crazy world. And like, even the word woman's losing definition now, which is crazy.
Wait a minute, repeat what you just said.
Because a man could call himself a woman and be paraded around as a woman. So even the word woman is losing its definition. So
That's
I
a
understand that
very
it's
good
hard
point.
for a woman. You know what I'm saying? We get it. But it's hard too. Like,
Yeah.
It's hard too. Also, sometimes it's not that serious.
No, I disagree with you. It is always that serious.
Sometimes. Now, a man should respectfully know when it's that serious. Even because women, like, life is crazy. Like, I can't imagine what some of y'all gonna say to Eve when we get to heaven. Because, like, the whole monthly time of the month
It's a whole
thing,
thing.
like, so knowing that, a man should understand, like, maybe I need to not walk on eggshells, but hey, go stop by and get some candy or whatever she like. You know
Because
what I'm
it
saying?
really is that serious.
Because, like, it's a body, it's like it's a whole thing for a week. You know what I'm saying? Every month. You know, like, it's crazy. Like, that's insane. So, like, you should respectfully know that. But, like, when y'all being dramatic and princessy sometimes, like, and it's been a long day, it's like, okay, bro, like, come on, man.
I disagree.
Like,
I
come
disagree.
on, man.
I
Come on,
disagree.
man.
There are things rolling around in our head that it is always that
but
serious.
you know what? I think it happens with us too.
Yeah.
It happens with us too. I just think, like, sometimes we'll overthink things, and a lot of that has to do with what we see and what we intake.
Do men? Well, dang it, we gotta close this out. Do men want women to make the first move?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I prefer it because
Really?
there's so many ways you could get in trouble.
Okay. Y'all
So,
hear that, ladies?
yeah, ladies, like sometimes you reach out to somebody and then you turn around and you done got me too. Like it's just
Okay.
easier when.
Because
But some men don't like that. Some men are old school and they want to do it.
you have
So
to
I get
know
it.
your audience.
Me personally, I prefer it. It's like at least I know you're interested. So if I return interest, I won't get in trouble for like flirting with you or you know what I'm saying. It won't be harassment.
Okay.
Like, and then it stops you from having to deal with harassers because they're out there.
Wes, thank you so much for sitting in the chair
The
and
hot seat.
answering our question. It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't.
It wasn't that
It got a
bad.
little hot twice. Just twice. Just twice.
Studies show that people who have healthy relationships are more likely to feel happier and satisfied with their lives. Healthy relationships with your partner and family members can enhance your life and make everyone feel good about themselves. But they don't always just happen. And healthy relationships take time to build and need work to keep them healthy. And the more positive effort you put into a relationship, the healthier it will be. Hopefully, the insights we've been providing you throughout the past month will help you as you examine the relationships in your life and take the steps to build long-lasting, satisfying relationships that bring you the joy and happiness you are searching for. Starting next week, I do want to invite you to join me as we embark on a journey of self-discovery and transformation. We will be discussing the power of addiction and sitting down with some brave individuals to share their real life story of recovering and healing. So make sure you join us. And until next week, know that I love you and I'm praying for you. So go be great. Thank you for watching.